Salvete omnes. Nomen mihies canicus. Thank you for joining me for the world's worst walkthrough. It's time to go back out into Korthos Island and do this at least in the order that I normally would, which means picking up all 3 of the quests that are... Oh, I didn't read it. Oh, no. No. Okay. I forgot. Oh, I'm terrible. Please, Warlock, any minute, and my daughter could be... Oh, I dread to think. They took her to the old Cannith Aqueduct on the far east side of Korthos Island. You'll need to cross the island's wilderness first. Look for a large cliff at the easternmost tip of the island, then find a path to climb up and gain entrance to the aqueduct at the top of the cliff. Please find her. Okay. So, I apologize. I do have some idea of what's going on here. Actually, can I abandon the quest? Okay. Oh, it's you. I beseech you, hero. There we go. This is better. Something terrible has happened. My daughter, Arissa, has been kidnapped. We heard her scream in the night, but by the time we got to her room, she was gone. Is there anything that can be done? I think she's being held with other prisoners at the old Cannith Aqueduct. They're being taken there one by one for indoctrination. Cannith Aqueduct is on a rocky cliff at the easternmost tip of Korthos Island. To get there, someone would need to cross all of this island's wilderness. Then that person would need to find a path to climb up and gain entrance to the aqueduct at the top of the cliff. It's our only chance to rescue the prisoners. I beg you, hero, bring my little Risa back to me. Yes, the time to strike is now. I will rescue your daughter and the others. I don't know so much about the others. We'll see. All right. Then I come down here to Handsome Will. Sorry. A moment of your time, adventurer. I would like to hire your services. I can offer a choice of items from our cargo as payment. I am listening. My mistress, Drusen de Drasco, was assaulted and kidnapped. They were undead, obviously minions of some villain. I followed them to some decrepit catacombs here in the wilderness of Korthos Island. It's at the base of a river inlet, underneath the south end of a long river cutting through the middle of the island. I would have you travel there and rescue my mistress. Mistress, does this job offer sound reasonable? Quite reasonable. Have my reward ready when I return. This Didrasco sounds like an important woman. What's she doing here? The mistress often travels on behalf of House Durasco. Unfortunately, we were waylaid by that troublesome dragon. So you want me to rescue your employer? All right, that is just a repeat. So we'll say quite reasonable and move on. So when they talk about houses, these are dragon marked houses. It's a big part of Eberron lore, having these dragon marks. It's not something that I'm qualified to really get into. But in terms of DDO, there are house enclaves in the main sort of city, and certain quests at certain levels. So, well, actually, no, it's not even that. There's quests of all levels all over the place, but we'll be going to House Jurasco eventually. It's also a part of the patron system. You can see all of these different factions. Gaining favor with the factions earns you bonuses and pluses. It's not a loyalty thing. You're not aligning yourself with one house or the other. There's no rivalries. Getting favor with the coin lords doesn't mean you can't gain favor with the harpers or anything like that. Okay, we have one more quest to pick up here, and then we'll go out into the wilderness. Listen, Père Ambulance, I know you've been helping around the village, but this is serious. I've been talking to Kaja, and I'm convinced Lars Hayton is alive. I didn't find him in the Hayton family crypt. No, not at the crypt. If you breathe a word of this to anyone, I'll disembowel you. That's pretty rough. Okay, here it is. I saw Lars Hayton at the old Kenneth manufactory in the flesh. One moment he was there, and then, if Hayton's actually alive, by dull dawn, he can help us. Find him, Warlock. Acquire his assistance, whatever it takes. If you head out into the wilderness of Korthos Island, you'll see old ruins on the right side of the path. Climb to the top of the ruins, and there you'll find the passage to the Kenneth manufactory. So they give you, like, they tell you how to get there. They're not perfect directions, but they're pretty good. Okay, I'll find Lars Hayton. All right, so we're going to go out into the wilderness, and we are going to do none of those quests right now. We're actually going to do a different quest that we're going to pick up here on the island. Okay, so this is Gunnar Bowerson. Hold. Are you friend or foe? What is your business here? I'm working with your father, Sigmund. Well then, I could use your help. The Sahuagin have found a great beast imprisoned beneath the island since the Age of Giants, and they're trying to wake it up. The beast is kept in eternal slumber by an ancient device, far underground. The Sahuagin have sabotaged it, but if you can sneak into the underground complex at the bottom of this cliff, you should be able to reactivate it. It's our only hope. Alright, I'll handle it. You stay here. Quickest path is to jump down the cliff. There's also a secret trail through the vegetation behind me. Okay, so you don't have featherfall. Just jump in the water. You'll be fine. Okay. Swim over here. Now, I could have gotten Dryad out. She is still active. That's good. But I'll get her out in the beginning of this quest. Stopping the Sahuagin. Okay, so there's a couple things. First, after we cross the threshold, there's going to be a Sahuagin that spawns here, another one that spawns over here. So we're going to deal with those first so they don't come up behind us. Back up. There they are. Okay, now there's a sentry down there, and if we can kill it before it gets to the gong, we can save ourselves a bit of a fight. So I'm going to hang back and wait for it to get further away from the gong, and then attack. Alright, now if it gets to the gong, then stuff will spawn over here. This will open and a guy will come out, and that method will show up. This guy over here will also come. Okay, there's going to be two Sahuagin here. Which way to the giant's device? Okay, to the left is a way through that has traps. And if you are a rogue or if you have trapping abilities, it's fine to go that way. If you don't have rogue skills and you don't want to jump over the traps, you can pull this lever. And in here, we've got a fight. Right, so I'm going to wait for Dryad to come through. And then the doors close on us and we have to fight these two Sahuagin. There's one there. And then Dryad got the other one there.
You hear ratcheting machine. The sound of distant snoring warns you that you are not alone here.
Should have let him finish talking.
If you're careful, you may be able to take the sleeping guards by surprise.
Okay, there's some Sahuagin over here. So there's one sleeping, but the others aren't. So there's no real point in stealth. Okay. We want to avoid that ice breath, so come around here. Now there's going to be an ice method on these boxes. I'm going to go for him first. Oh. Go.
The last Sahuagin guard collapses
Okay.
to the floor. But what are they guarding?
90, at least 90, if not 99% of the time in DDO, if you see a valve or a lever, pull it. Sometimes that will get you killed. Most of the time, you just want to pull it. This valve here, I honestly have no idea what that valve does.
Ear-shattering noise.
I'm going to close this door. And then we ring the gong twice.
With the gong's reverberations, you hear a slight rumble from the larger room. But then, it's the second strike of the gong produces the telltale sound of cracking ice.
Do this valve here. I'm going to use Featherfall. If you don't have Featherfall, you can jump down into the water there and not take any damage. Or you can climb down this ladder. Okay, C lever, pull lever. So we're doing that for this. You see that crystal down there? So one's lit up, one's not. Get the other one lit up over here. Now, oh, excuse me, yawning. You're going to jump down and swim into this water. Don't worry, you have enough breath.
You spot a rusty hatch submerged in the putrid water.
Just swim down. You can use your ring of water breathing if you want. Just don't attach to that ladder. Swim up. Okay, if your hireling gets separated from you, you can click on these footprints, and that will summon them directly to you. Now, this secret door, you would normally have to search for. For some reason, it's been showing up like to everybody all the time, but that may not happen when you are playing if they fix it. It's not supposed to do that. You can ignore this, but the monsters that are behind this door, they're going to open it eventually and come up behind you. So I always go in here and take them out first. I like to fight them on my terms, not when they sneak up behind me. I almost never need these shrines, but if you do, by all means, take advantage of it.
You emerge from the
We're almost done with this quest.
The air seems slightly cooler here. The temperature.
We just have a couple more fights and then a puzzle.
The giant's device must be here.
Okay. Now, this is good. This gives us boots that give us expeditious retreat. So I'm going to put these on, and I'm going to put them on my hotbar where I have hotkeys set up. In particular, excuse me, this is attached to comma. I'm doing that because I know for a fact I'm going to get another set of boots that have 2 charges of expeditious retreat. And so between the 2 sets of boots, I'll have 15 minutes of fast running. And now the one with 2 charges, that's a guaranteed you can get that anytime you want. This one is either the fast boots or cold protection boots, which really aren't that worth it. You don't get to choose, but those are the 2 options. So I was fortunate enough to get the fast movement boots. Now there's a big ice spider up here. I'm going to get close enough to fight her. Fairly confident I'm going to be able to defeat her without too much trouble. I don't know why for me spiders are always female. That's probably not fair. I guess it's Shelob. All right. So how do we not get hit by this spray? Well, you can disarm the traps with trap boxes that are here and there. But you don't really need to do that. So I'm going to let them go. I'm just going to jump over here. And do that, and now they're off. Okay. Now there's another thing going on here. I'm going to turn a particular tile, and a Sahuagin's going to show up right here. And if I take too long, they'll keep spawning. So watch this. I'm going to turn this tile once, and there he is. Okay. So now I'm going to tell Dryad to stay put, mostly to stay out of my way, but also to be a first line of defense if another Sahuagin spawns. Now, once again, if you want to do this on your own, I'll try and put a time code in for where you can skip ahead. I recommend that you do try to do it on your own. This is a fun one. It goes in 3 dimensions, up and down and side to side. Again, there's more than one way to solve this puzzle. But if you want to skip ahead, please go ahead and do that. If not, this is how I do it. Okay, so I start here and go here and that and that and then that. All right, so now I have that one. What is going on? I'm lagging out. There we go. Okay, so that one's done. We have to do both of them.
But it's not enough.
All right, and you see I'm working backwards.
Just to affect a thing of this size.
Do that. Oh, that. Don't worry. That one. That just missed. That tile's irrelevant. Got another Sahuagin because I took a long time talking. Okay, and
a layer
there we go.
Over the ancient
okay, now that was enough XP for me to get the chain shape, and I'll show you why that's important. So I'm going to finish, and then we're going to recall back to town. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Okay, so actually before I recall, I'm going to show you how I get to the next quest from here. Then I'll recall, get my enhancement that I want, and then I'll run back the way. Because sometimes it depends. If I've got action points that I need to spend, I'll recall. If I don't, I'll go ahead and run. So again, if you have a horse, you can just run this and you don't have to worry about the mobs. You can just run ahead of them. Matter of fact, I can probably outrun them with expeditious retreat on, but again, you may not have gotten those boots, so I'm going to do this the slow way. Again, world's worst walk. So this is the hidden path that the quest giver was talking about. This is the main path here. Okay, so if you didn't want to jump down, which you shouldn't not want to jump down, but if you didn't want to, you'd come down here, then go down that pathway and then around the mountain. All right, now that we're up on the main path, I mean, you can see we're going here to the Kenneth Aqueduct. All right. So just to speed this up, I'm going to fight the monsters, but I'm going to run a little faster. That was Featherfall. This is what I want. Okay. I'm going to ignore those guys there. But these Sahuagin up here, we're going to need to kill. So let's fight them. Okay. So this is where the next quest is going to be. But I'm going to recall
factory.
And then in the next episode, I'll show you how I get out here from the front, from the main entrance. Okay. So enhancements. I want chain shape. And in the next episode, I will show you why that is wonderful. So I'm going to put this down here along with that so I can switch back and forth between them, although I'll rarely switch between those two. Okay. So from there, I will say, gratias vobis ago. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know how you get around Korthos. Is there something that I missed in stopping the Sahuagin? I'll admit, that was very straightforward. That's the way I do the quest. If there's optionals or things like that I missed, I apologize. I honestly don't know what those are. I haven't looked. I haven't looked up the wiki for that quest in forever because I get through the quest just fine and I don't really care otherwise. If I'm missing an optional that's worth doing, or if you want to do like full completion, let me know what I missed. Maybe I'll record an addendum. You can always go to the wiki and find out how to do, every bit of the quest. The wiki has very good explanations for these quests. All right. So I will see you next time for, Redemption? I think is the name of the next quest. Si waletis, ego waleo, walete.